The Soul down one. 10 seconds left. Radabal back to pass, has a receiver. Touchdown Soul. Another win at the wire? Find out now. It's time to walk the plank. Walk the Plank is presented by Foods Galore, preferred food supplier for Chickies and Pete's since the start. Bargain Car, Truck and Van Rental in Brookhaven, Broomall, and Chadds Ford. Bradford White Water Heaters, the official water heater of the Philadelphia Soul. Geno's Steaks, the best cheesesteaks in Philadelphia since 1966. Susquehanna Bank, the preferred banking partner of the Philadelphia Soul. Valley Forge Casino Resort, located just 2 minutes from the King of Prussia Mall on North Gulf Road. And by Bud Light. Here we go. And welcome once again to Walk the Plank, now officially presented by Foods Galore, one of our prime sponsors, and we want to thank them as always. I'm Lou Tilley along with Coach Plank, Doug Plank, and no longer all alone atop of the AFL standings, but still tied for the best record in all the AFL after a classic AFL nail biter. We showed it in the opening there, Coach. It looked like you're going in for the opening touchdown, but he did not get in. It was not ruled a touchdown. Did you agree with the call?
I agree with the call. This is a game of inches, and I do believe we probably fell short a few inches. Without any camera exactly on the goal line, it was hard to try to challenge that play. Plus, we didn't have a timeout left, so we couldn't challenge it. But there was enough mistakes that we made to lose that game. The
Soul lose for just the second time this year by a single point. Let's take a look at some of the highlights brought to you by Bud Light. Here we go, Coach. Now, offensively, you have a huge day. You run 58 plays to just 30 for Milwaukee. That sounds like it should add up to a win.
Well, it does, but a lot of times when you're talking about time of possession in arena football, usually the team that has more time of possession loses, because that means the other team is scoring and scoring fast. And that's exactly what they did against us. Milwaukee came into this game throwing very short passes, 5, 10-yard passes at the most. Instead, they came in, they picked up a couple new receivers in the last couple weeks, and suddenly now started stretching the field and going against exactly what we thought they were not going to do. They came out, started throwing the ball down the field, had a lot of success, and just caught us off guard.
Now, Doug, for those who are just tuning in for the first time, they may not know that you're the Doug Plank from the Chicago Bears, a great secondary, so that's your main focus. Were you unhappy with your secondary this past week? There were some wide open touchdowns thrown against.
There's no question that our defense was capable of doing much more than that. And defense, pass coverage is really two things. It's coverage, but also it's your pass rush. So in neither one of those categories did we do a very good job. We didn't put pressure on the quarterback, giving him ample time back in the pocket. And our secondary certainly didn't do the job, is evidenced by the long throws that were made. Now, we did get 2 of those in interceptions, but in arena football, you got to do a lot better than that.
Now, this was a classic Arena Football League game, though, even though you came up on the tail end of it by a single point. Take a look at the line score. I mean, this was dead even all the way through. 15-13, then 16-13, 14-14 in the third, 21-21 in the fourth quarter. And then that last, 40 seconds, you get the ball back, and you've got 45 yards to go. That's almost a perfect scenario, wasn't it? Kill the clock, win the game.
You're exactly right. When you ask coaches, would you rather have your defense on the field at the end of the game for the win or your offense? And most times, the offense scores at a very high percentage. You would want your offense. And it's not that our offense wasn't moving. We just simply ran out of time. We ran out of timeouts. So if we had the ball with 10 seconds left, we either needed to score or have an incompletion. If we caught the ball and it was inbounds, in the field of play and we didn't score a touchdown, we didn't have enough time to run another play, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, it was great entertainment, and it always is down at the Wells Fargo Center, and another home game coming up this week. We'll be talking to some of the players about that. But first, we've mentioned Foods Galore, now the official sponsor of Walk the Plank, and Foods Galore is debuting a new product right here with us this week on Walk the Plank. Foods Galore proud to be launching their own line of gourmet quality deli items right here in the meat locker, right over my shoulder here, called Artisan's Pride. Artisan's Pride is now available exclusively at Crystal Lakes Thriftway and at the Shopping Bag in Richboro, Pennsylvania. Coming up this week, a big game as well, as the Soul now 6-2 back at the Wells Fargo Center. We invite you to join us down there May 12 at the Wells Fargo Center for the next home game, and you can get your tickets by going to the Soul's website, PhiladelphiaSoul.com, or calling them at 888-789-SOUL. And they're playing Jacksonville. If you can't make it down, and we sure hope you will, you can check it out on TV. I'll be calling the game along with Tom Goodhines this coming Saturday night, May the 12th at 7:05, right on the Comcast network. When we come back, one area that Doug Plank has to be happy about, it's his offensive line, and you'll meet two big keys to their success when we come back.
If you've been seriously injured in an auto accident, remember this name. If you're being pressured by the insurance company to take a settlement that isn't fair, remember this name. If you need someone to fight for you to get the money you deserve, remember this name, Lundy Law. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW. Winning millions for clients in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware for over 50 years.
The Philadelphia Soul. Don't miss the next home game this Saturday, May 12th at the Wells Fargo Center. Be there as the Soul continue their drive to bring a championship back to Philly. Get your tickets now for as low as $13. Call 1-888-789-SOUL or hit us online at PhiladelphiaSoul.com. Philadelphia Soul.
You have 25 hours of things to do every day and just 24 hours to do them. Finding time to manage your money can be a chore. Susquehanna Bank offers a variety of checking options to help. Whether you're on the road, at home, or anywhere in between. And even though convenience is its own reward, it's just one of the many we offer. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts for busy people like you. Member FDIC.
Scott, he's doing a great job for us, whether it be, the steak meat, the lobster, everything is our own brand. It's a testimonial to Foods Galore.
Service is what's made our company. Loyalty, reliability, honesty. Your growth was one of the main reasons why I evolved in the business.
People look at Chicky and Pete's as a success story, but it's actually your success story. It works just like a marriage, because I still have my wife and I still have you.
Hey, welcome back to Walk the Plank, the Soul Show presented by Foods Galore from our home of the Philadelphia Soul. In fact, it's the VIP room at Chicky and Pete's where many of the fans, season ticket holders, and supporters of the Soul get together after the game along with the players and the coaches. And it's that time of the day where we meet some of the Soul players here on Walk the Plank. I want to welcome Christian Johnson and Zip Duncan to the show. Two guys, I feel tiny around you guys. The two offensive linemen. For those of you that haven't followed the Arena League, there's actually three offensive linemen. Brendan Cavallo is the center, and these two flank him as the tackles. That's the offensive line in the AFL, and one of them is designated by raising his hand at the start as a tight end. That's you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you are a big target, Zip. How tall are you?
Oh, about 6'5", so that's usually what they list me at.
And how many pounds are you carrying these days?
Oh, about 310 on the slim side. So.
On the slim side?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Lean
sir.
and mean tight end. And you, Christian, how do you weigh in? What's your size?
I'm about 6'3 and a half, about 325.
Well, you guys have been doing a great job along with Brennan, because you've allowed only a league-low 2 sacks all season long, and in a pass-happy league, that is so important. And how have you been able to do that, Christian?
Honestly, I think as an offensive line unit, we gel well. We work hard together. Every time we go to a game and coming into a game, I know I can trust Zip and I know I can trust Brennan. Ross plays a big part in blocking also, being a fullback, and he picks up the MAC backer just as much as we do. But, you know, we work hard, and honestly, we just take pride in our job. We don't want nobody to touch our quarterback.
Where's home for you, Christian? Where'd you grow up?
I moved around a lot in my life. My father's in the military, but home is, for me, I call Virginia home.
And then you went on to play college ball at Kentucky, along with you, Zip. And you guys were roommates back in college ball together?
Yes, sir. Freshman year roommates. So, we were in the dorms together and we lived together off campus next year. So we've had a lot of time, pretty much the whole college experience together. And it's great being, reunited and playing again.
And here you are with the Soul, and you're still rooming together?
Yes, sir. They got us together
Now,
again.
this lasts longer than most marriages that I know of. What's the key to your getting along, without getting tired of each other?
Oh, man, we just bonded from the start, really. We came into college, we hit it off well. We shared a suite with a couple other guys, and it's just been one of those things, he's like a brother to me. And, we have our fights and stuff, but at the end of the day, we're brothers, so we enjoy being together, rooming together, talking stuff over. So it's a good experience for us.
That's nice. Now, a year ago, you were one of the players, Christian, that came here from the Dallas team, along with Coach Clint Dozel, quarterback Dan Rattenball, and we were talking about Derek Ross, the fullback, and on Tiger Jones. Yep. And you all came up here to Philadelphia. And by the way, you all talk like that up here. How you enjoying life in Philadelphia? It must be very different for you.
Yeah, it's different, but I'm used to moving around a lot.
As an Army kid? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And this organization, it's nothing against Dallas, but this is a top-notch organization, and I'm enjoying it. I love it here. The team's great. Everybody from the coaching staff to the trainers, it's a pleasure to be here.
How about you, Zip? How do you like life up north?
Oh, it's a little bit different. I was born and raised in Kentucky on a farm, so the big city's different to me. But like we were saying, the fans are great, the people are great, the organization is first class. So when you're playing football, getting to do something you love, it's fun being in an organization that's first class.
Now, Zip, you're the highest scoring team in the AFL. It's 72 points a game. You're 6-2, the best record in the AFL. You're a pass happy, the top-rated passer in all of the AFL, and yet you don't have a touchdown pass this year. What's the issue here?
I'm catching a lot of flack for that. Everybody seems to have, the Barry Sanders move they want me to do, jump over people, but I tell them I'm just going to be consistent, catch the ball, get my 10 yards, and fall down.
Have you two worked on a touchdown dance in the event that Zip breaks the barrier?
We talked about it probably. I think before the first game we had spoken on doing the dance, but we haven't finalized it yet. We're going to get something together soon, though.
Well, you should consult with Tiger Jones as your choreographer and go to his playbook of touchdown dances, which we've enjoyed all through the year.
Yeah, Tiger's definitely the king of dances. I always say he puts effort into scoring, and he definitely knows what his celebration would be at the end of the play.
Well, you have a rolling clock in the AFL until the last minute of the game, and if I was on the other team while Tiger's doing his dances and the clock's running, I might get a little bit annoyed. Speaking of which, you make this completion at the end of the game, and you're blocking for Rattleball here, and it looks like maybe from your angle that you won the game. Were you surprised at how this ended last week?
We were disappointed, but at the same time, it's one of those things. It was a bang play. We were running up there to get lined up. Hopefully we could clock the ball or something. But we kind of knew we were tight on time, no timeouts, and we obviously made a play, gave ourselves a chance to win. It just didn't go our way. So we're disappointed. We just got to move on and learn from it.
6-2 now with a big game coming up this week against Jacksonville in the Arena Bowl a year ago at the home game at the Wells Fargo Center. Christian, if the fans are thinking about how to spend their entertainment dollar this weekend, what would you tell them about the AFL and the experience?
Definitely. I tell people all the time, if you want to see a fast-paced game, hard hits, players so fast, if you blink, you might miss it, and it's a great family atmosphere. Come to the Wells Fargo Center.
And you interact with the fans at times
yes,
too,
sir,
right?
Yes, sir. During the game, before the game, and after the game. The fans get a great chance to know who we are, and we get a great chance to know who they are also.
Yeah, nice job. We've enjoyed talking with you. Good luck this week. Zip and Christian, the Soul, try to go to 7-2. When they continue their season. It's Saturday night down at the Wells Fargo Center. We'll be televising the game live on the Comcast Network. Tom Goodhines and I will be making the call, but we'd really like you to come down and see it in person by calling the Soul at 888-789-SOUL or go online for your tickets at thephiladelphiasoul.com. And we'll be back with more Walk the Plank.
The Philadelphia Soul.
We got this!
Don't miss the next home game this Saturday, May 12th at the Wells Fargo Center. Be there as the Soul continue their drive to bring a championship back to Philly. Get your tickets now for as low as $13. Call 1-888-789-SOUL or hit us online at PhiladelphiaSoul.com. Philadelphia Soul.
I do a lot of weird stuff to save money.
Carpooling.
We clip coupons. Coupons. Coupons.
You gotta eat leftovers, man. You got to.
Susquehanna Bank knows you're always looking for ways to save money.
Well, I eat in a lot more than I used to.
I use this to get places.
I buy generic everything. We use those swirly light bulbs.
You work hard for your money, and Susquehanna can help you keep more of it with free checking. Open your account today. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts. Member FDIC.
If you've been seriously injured in an auto accident, remember this name. If you're being pressured by the insurance company to take a settlement that isn't fair, remember this name. If you need someone to fight for you to get the money you deserve, remember this name. Lundy Law. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW. Winning millions for clients in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware for over 50 years.
Hi, this is Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Chicky and Pete's has been recognized as the best sports bar in North America. We couldn't have done it without you, our loyal fans. You know, the Philadelphia sports fan wears their heart on their sleeve and has the enthusiasm like no other city in America. So at this time, we'd like to thank you for supporting your teams and supporting us at Chicky and Pete's, making us #1. Come down to Chicky and Pete's at Packer Avenue and see the trophy for being the #1 sports bar in North America. We'll see you here at Chicky and Pete's.
High off the net. Hughley has it. He breaks it this time. Jeff Hughley, one man to beat the kicker. He's in for a Soul touchdown.
Tell you, it's a duel between these two, and right there.
That's the Soul's Jeff Hughley. If you've been watching our Walk the Plank show or watching the games all through the year, Soul now 6-2, you've seen the impact that he's had for this new reborn Philadelphia Soul. Lou Tilley back with Coach Doug Plank and introducing one of your coaching staff here.
Yes.
You want to do the honors?
Well, yes. I'm very happy to have had this opportunity, Lou. Back months ago, when the Dallas franchise did not return, there was a number of great coaches that were available. One of them was Clint Dolezel, obviously, that we hired as the assistant head coach and offensive coordinator. But the other one is the man sitting right to my right, Adriel Fenton, Coach Fenton as I call him, who does an unbelievable job with our special teams. And people don't realize, if you want to see what kind of team you're getting ready to play against, put on the special teams.
Yeah.
You're going to find the spirit, the heart of the team. And this man right here does an unbelievable job at keeping our troops up in terms of fired up special teams and effort, because he deals with offensive and defensive players at the same time.
And you also came from that great team in Dallas.
Yes,
we
sir,
were
I
just
did.
talking about with Zip and Christian. And what are you working on now with the Soul with special teams? What's your prime emphasis right now as you get for the second half of the season?
We really want to work on our kickoff return game. We've got a great returner in Jeff, who is the tops in the league. We're willing to make sure that we're trying to put some things together so he can excel at what he does best, is catching the ball off the net, reading his blocks. Big returns is what he's known for, and that's probably going to be our #1 focus, along with our kickoff team. We've had some issues as far as our coverage is concerned, so we want to make a concerned effort to refocus our attention on the little things of the game that we need to kind of focus on.
Coming off just your second loss of the year by 1 point to Milwaukee, and
Yes,
special
sir.
teams played a big role. Brought to you by Bud Light. Let's take a look at some of the highlights, shall we? Here we go. And Milwaukee busted a big one against you. And at the end there, on the last possession, it looked like you'd have great field position, but it was called back by a penalty. There were 5 of them, I think, on
Yes,
special
sir.
team plays last week.
We're really trying to cut down on that aspect of the game that hurts us when we're being successful. We're trying to cut down on our penalties, cut down our mental mistakes, things that can come back to bite us in the long run.
What are some of the differences of special teams in the indoor game versus what maybe the fans might be accustomed to in outdoors?
In the outdoor game, it's the dimensions of the field, because you've got so much room to work with. returns are a little bit more complicated. In the Arena League, everything's happening right now. If you give a guy just the smallest of creases and he hits it running full speed, before you realize that he'll already be in the end zone. So the dimensions is our biggest difference.
It's not something that you talk about a lot. You always concentrate on the quarterback, especially in the indoor game, right? But there's a lot of hidden yards in those special teams.
Oh, there is. That's why it's so important for the kicker to kick the ball, hit the net, because it takes time to come off the net. Sometimes you can hit those bars, and all of a sudden the football hits the ground. It allows the coverage team to come down and recover it. So, in special teams is like carrying a football around in a wet paper bag. The bottom could fall out at any moment. So the job that this guy does, I mean, not even day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, it changes. Players get injured, the scheme changes, there's different circumstances that take place, onside kicks. This thing is an incredible amount of concern, and Coach Fenton does a great job with it.
Adriel, where did you play your college ball?
I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, played at Wayne State University. Tore my ACL early in my college career, which kind of took me from player to coach. The only way I could continue to get on the field is if I was coaching or had to sit in the stands. So that kind of propelled me into my career that I have now.
Took me from player to broadcaster.
Yes, sir.
I understand very well.
Yes,
Adriel,
sir.
thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Come
I really
on down and
appreciate
see the special teams of the Soul. A very special team. Next home game coming up Saturday down at the Wells Fargo Center. We want to see you there. Give us a call at 888-789-SOUL or go online with PhiladelphiaSoul.com. And we're right back to look ahead to next week's game with Coach Plank right after this on Walk the Plank, the Philadelphia Soul Show, presented by Foods Galore.
If you've been seriously injured in an auto accident, remember this name. If you're being pressured by the insurance company to take a settlement that isn't fair, remember this name. If you need someone to fight for you to get the money you deserve, remember this name. Lundy Law. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW. Winning millions for clients in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware for over 50 years.
The Philadelphia Soul. Don't miss the next home game this Saturday, May 12th at the Wells Fargo Center. Be there as the Soul continue their drive to bring a championship back to Philly. Get your tickets now for as low as $13. Call 1-888-789-SOUL or hit us online at PhiladelphiaSoul.com. Philadelphia Soul.
Scott, he's doing a great job for us, whether it be, the steak meat, the lobster, everything is our own brand. It's a testimonial to Foods Galore.
Service is what's made our company. Loyalty, reliability, honesty. Your growth was one of the main reasons why I evolved in the business.
People look at Chicky and Pete's as a success story, but it's actually your success story. It works just like a marriage, because I still have my wife and I still have you.
So, Mr. Jaworski, we wanted to show you the new packaging for Goldenberg's Peanut Chews. Of course, it still has the same original chewy, chocolatey, peanutty taste. Would you like to try one?
Sure.
So?
Man, these are really good. Mm-hmm. What? Now that's chewing it old school.
Welcome back to Walk the Plank, presented by Foods Galore. And the injury report this week is brought to you by 1-800-LUNDY-LAW for this Saturday's game coming up against Jacksonville down at the Wells Fargo Center. Donovan Morgan's still out, but I think they got the cast off his broken wrist this week. And Larry Brackens, who's really important to that special team that we were just talking about. And Dusty Bear now will sit down after trying to go on a gimpy ankle the last couple of weeks. Questionable. Devin Clark, who's been battling the knee for a while. And probable Brandon Perkins, who will probably step in along with Dustin Barno into the role played by Dusty Bear at one of the strong linebackers and try and be a game maker, a game playmaker. The injury report brought to you as always by 1-800-LUNDY-LAW, injury and disability lawyers serving Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Lundy Law is the official law firm of the Philadelphia Soul. And welcome back from Chicky and Pete's to Walk the Plank with Coach Doug Plank, presented by Foods Galore. Jacksonville comes in here now. we've seen one of the Florida teams. Usually those 3 Florida teams are the toughest teams in the league, and Jacksonville, of course, was right there a year ago. How do they look for Saturday night, Coach?
Well, Aaron Garcia, their quarterback, has moved on to San Antonio, so they don't have that magic at the quarterback position, but they're very, very athletic. You look at all the teams in Florida, there is such a great foundation for talent in the state of Florida that those teams always have fast, strong, and big players, and nothing's different this year. They're a very fast and quick team. They just need a little more experience at their quarterback position before they really settle into being a good team.
We're starting to see the league balance out a little bit. As you know, it's a very short preseason that you have, only 3 weeks. So teams are now just starting to hit their stride. We saw Milwaukee get a lot better in the course of the game against you. Jacksonville, a good example of that?
Jacksonville's a good example of that. Their defense is young, very aggressive. It's on offense where their offensive production it isn't what it was last year, but it's improving on a weekly basis. As their quarterback continues to get experience, their team is going to get better.
And what about you and your defense, Coach? We just mentioned that Dusty Bear is actually shut down now after struggling with that ankle a little bit. What changes will you make?
Well, I think number one, we have to stop the quick plays. When you look at last week's game, our offense ran almost twice as many plays as their offense
58 to 30.
The reason being is because we were giving up quick, easy touchdowns, making our offense march down the field, long drives, a lot of plays. So it's our intention to shut that down, make sure that we're in a position we make other teams earn their touchdowns, force them into turnovers and mistakes, which is what they were trying to do against us.
And I also mentioned Donovan Morgan, who the fans remember from a year ago as well. Number 2 has been out for a while. Do you have a projection on when he might be back?
Well, you know, it's one thing to take a cast off. But you have to remember that the body, it has a tendency to atrophy without a lot of workout and exercise. That's really the problem with Donovan right now, and I don't anticipate that's going to take any more than a week or 2. I mean, he's a big, strong guy, very athletic. We just need him to be able to start catching the football on a daily basis and just build up some of the arm strength in his forearm.
All right, the Soul, 6-2. They hit the halfway part of the season, the halfway mark of the season this weekend when they take on Jacksonville down at the Wells Fargo Center. The game is set right now for Saturday night at 7:05. We'll be televising it live on the Comcast network. Tom Goodhines and I, and we might have a microphone on Coach Plank. He doesn't know this yet. During the game, we'll talk. And if you can't, we'd really love you to come on down and see it in person. If you haven't sampled the Arena League game yet, you're going to love it. And you can get your tickets at 888-789-SOUL or going online for PhiladelphiaSoul.com. And also, like the Soul on Facebook, become a fan there, and you automatically become eligible for 2 free tickets to this league's championship game, the Arena Bowl, down in New Orleans for 4 days and 3 nights in New Orleans. Go to Facebook.com/Soul right now. And if you've got a birthday coming up, celebrate with the Soul. Big day down there. You get club box seats for the game, birthday packs, 3 tickets, face painting. You get to hang out with the players, Soul Man, and more, and have a lot of fun by calling the Soul at 888-789-SOUL. And for more information, go online as well at thephiladelphiasoul.com. Thanks, Doug, as always, and your players and coaches are quality guys. I think it always comes through, and they're a lot of fun as well, and so are your games. We'll see you Saturday night.
Okay, thank you. See you, Lou.
Coach Doug Plank, and another edition of Walk the Plank presented by Foods Galore. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you at the ball game Saturday night at 7 at the Wells Fargo Center. Walk the Plank is presented by Valley Forge Casino Resort, located just 2 minutes from the King of Prussia Mall on North Gulf Road. And by Bud Light. Here we go.